and to do the best with the resources they had. And it was a huge challenge at times. And they did a phenomenal job, and the entire city should be thankful and grateful to them for what they accomplished in the absence of that position. So I applaud them and I thank them, because it certainly made it easier for me to step into a situation that was well organized and managed the best that it could be under those circumstances. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Kirsten. And then I also want to thank the residents of Babbitt. I thank you for the opportunity to be your city clerk. I come to Babbitt with no bias. I have only a blank canvas, and I have a completely neutral perspective. I have no friends here. I have no family here. I have no history in Babbitt. But what I do have is a Minnesota history. I'm a graduate of the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. And despite living in other states throughout my life, I have spent more of my life in Minnesota than any other state. And so this state and its communities are really close to my heart. I've been a property owner in St. Louis County for many years. I love this state. I love this county. I am falling in love with Babbitt already, and I will work hard for the city council and for all of you, for the residents. Today's the first day of my third week in this position. This is my 11th day in this job. I've had the honor of meeting only a handful of the residents to date, and I look forward to meeting more of you. I'm your public servant, and I'll work hard for your benefit. With this noted, I am, with only 11 days in this position, disappointed in the rhetoric, the misinformation, the misleading commentary, the gossip, and the overly emotional response to a preliminary budget. Unfortunately, there has been a gross misrepresentation of the budget without a single resident or city employee showing up in my office until this morning to ask the questions about the numbers. You heard me. Not a single person has called me on the phone. This morning, with less than 6 hours to prepare, I've had a couple of contacts. No one contacted our office about the questions out on Facebook. The questions were put on Facebook. With that noted, I truly hope that you will listen carefully to the information that I will present to the City Council in response to the concerns and the questions that I have had to glean off Facebook, a social media site. There will be, as Mayor told us, a time for public input. I encourage you to listen carefully, because I believe that many concerns, questions will become irrelevant. And so in the essence of saving time, I hope that if we are able to answer your questions, that you will then accept that as explanation. With that, I'll turn it back to the mayor to.
Okay, all right. Does anyone have anything to add? No? Okay, so we will go on. The first topic of the budget, we will start with the administration.
Microphone.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I'm one who usually has it on too. We're gonna start with administration right now. And we will discuss first. I'll ask anyone to raise their hand if they want to have any questions in regards to administration, and then, I'm sorry.
Can I discuss first?
Yeah, Nancy first, and then us, and then questions, and then we'll follow up. We'll go that order. Okay, go ahead, Nancy.
Thank you. I want to address this department budget first because I really truly hope that it'll help set the tone for the meeting. With respect to why it's really important to ask questions and get facts before speculating. The previous clerk formatted the budget differently, and the numbers are confusing. It's been confusing for me to understand and make sure that I know where the numbers are coming from. And I will fully admit I am probably not at 100% yet, but I'm getting pretty darn close to being there. But there have been a lot of questions about the administrative budget online, so let me make some clarifications. The payroll line of the administrative budget did not increase by $120,000 for 2025 as it understandably appears that it did. But rather, some in previous budget documents, that part of that payroll was presented in other departments that rely on the administrative department for support. And it was a way of allocating out. This year, that budget has been presented as an administrative budget, and the additional dollars have been accounted for in the revenues section. And so it's a little bit confusing, but and I apologize, I might not have all my numbers exactly right, but that accounts for about $60,000 of the payroll line. And then the additional increase in the administrative budget is also due to the benefits increasing and all of the other things like payroll taxes. And so it's really just a reflection. So there was speculation that, and I was asked by somebody if we were adding staff to the administrative office in 2026. There is no plan for additional staff in the administrative office in 2026. The staff will remain at its current levels, at its contracted rates, which are relatively close to what the previous rates were with normal annual increases. And so that the speculation that it went up by $120,000 is a moot point because it really truly did not. It just looks different in the spreadsheets. Also, the increase in the office supplies line in the administrative budget goes from $5,000 in 2025 to $3,500 in 2026. And again, this is due to the movement of the office supplies budget line from the government section of the budget to the administrative budget. The 2025 budget for office supplies for both offices combined was $4,500. That is now consolidated in the administrative budget with a reduction of $1,000 down to $3,500, which is a 22% decrease. I'll turn it back over to the council.
Okay, does anyone have anything to add in regards to the administrative budget at all on council here? No, I would like to add, it is confusing and there's a lot of page flipping all the time. Things were pieced out separately before, now they're combined in one. So when you look at the line, it looks like it's larger than it was. And it is, but it isn't. So does anyone, I'll open it up to public input right now. Does anyone have any comments or questions? Sandy?
Yeah, I'd like to know, I understand what the lady was saying, how this stuff, you're giving us one number, okay, as the people in South. Now, you're saying this is all broken down into different categories and what have you. Where's the transparency here? We don't want to know what the figures are bottom line. Don't give us something and tell us, well, it's confusing, you can't understand it. Well, we know that.
Understood. I understand that. I understand
So,
your question.
is there gonna be something made available to us to give us the exact numbers and where the funds are being allocated?
I think they're combined now, whereas before they weren't, right? Is that the main difference, right?
I believe I can address that
Yeah.
concern in that, and again, I apologize, I'm 11 days into this position and all of this information. At my first glance, I was very confused by how it was set up. The format has some ins and outs, and the ins and outs, this is my best way to explain it, the ins and outs are not necessarily on the same worksheet, and so it's difficult to follow. But if you, I agree with you, there needs to be a better format that provides an easier review. This format that we're at is not the ultimate, but it is more transparent actually than the previous format. And when we get to some of the other departments, that's going to become even more apparent. And I don't want to comment on that right now, but it actually is, this is more transparent because what you are looking for, if we take the administrative budget sheet, truly what we are paying out in payroll in the administrative office is as you see it on this sheet. It has never been presented this way before. It was presented with it being partially allocated out to other departments. And then those departments had those numbers on their budgets. And so I'm correct, right?
Correct. And we call it the clerical wage transfer. So the PUC pays the city a portion of the clerical wages. The garbage department pays a portion of that. The cemetery department pays a portion of that. And the ambulance department pays a portion of that. Instead of subtracting that from the whole number of our payroll, like it has been done previously, we're instructed to do it as revenues and expenditures. We're expending this much out of our administrative payroll, but we're getting reimbursed by these other departments in that fashion. So
And
That's-
that reimbursement
that
amount
amount-
is shown on the levy and receipt portion of the budget.
and it amounts to about $62,000.
Okay. Carly, you had your hand up?
I was just wondering, because I know all of you guys' salary information is public as far as what you guys make, but is theirs public as well, what they make?
Yeah, everyone's in the
Okay,
city
what do
is.
you guys make?
My salary is, I don't know for sure, but this year I make $34.80 an hour. $34.80.
What about you, Nancy?
I had to make sure that I knew it exactly. I make $90,000 annually. I am a salaried employee and I am not eligible for overtime, which is,
What about Kirsten?
Do you know what I make?
I just put it in 31 something.
And then every year they're entitled to a raise, every year, are you guys kidding me? You just keep lining your pockets, you guys are gonna be compensated for the levy, we're not. Is everybody else's salary going up? No.
Yes.
Yes, everyone else's salary, everyone else's salary is up.
Us
All
three
the-
are also
all the city-
non-union.
All the
All
city employees.
employees, yes.
Correct, yes.
I'm talking about the rest of us that are gonna have to be responsible for paying for the levy.
It's always been that way. And if you can, okay, I mean, what can I tell you? That's how it is. It's with the union contracts. That's how it is. I know when Chief Sodajewski, when did you do your pay freeze? That was when reserve closed down for 5 years, right?
7 years we did a pay freeze when voluntarily the employees did a pay freeze when Reserve Mining Company filed bankruptcy. I think I'm the only person, well, I know I'm the only person. Elaine was here, still working for the city as well, when that happened.
Right.
And he went 7 years voluntarily without a pay raise. In those 7 years, in comparison to surrounding communities, the employees will never make that up. We've never been able to catch up to like what White Lakes or Silver Bay or towns comparable in size compared to what their employees make. That 7 years cost all future employees for the city of Babbitt money, period.
Okay, thank you. Did you have anything else, Carly?
No, it's just her.
Okay, Terry?
This is related to admin only because of what Nancy said. For those that don't know me, I was a city employee here for 31 years. I was chief of police for 20 of those 31 years, and I retired in 2012. Now, this isn't the actual public speaking part, and I understand that, so I'll make this.
Yeah, no, this is, it's, yeah, you can help.
And regular public speaking, you're not allowed to respond. You're not allowed to say anything but listen,
Okay,
all right?
Understood.
Am I correct, Madam Mayor?
you are, we were gonna do this differently, as I
Oh,
noted
this
in the beginning.
This isn't part of the public speaking.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I just feel that, I don't know if Nancy is city administrator or city clerk. If she's city administrator, I suppose she has every
I am
right.
city clerk,
Okay.
treasurer.
Then you have no right, in my opinion, to reprimand the citizens of this town for what you're reading on social media. Your job is to provide information, and information only. You have no business reprimanding the citizens of Babbitt. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
I'm Angela.
Mm.
Just a quick question. Do we have a city auditor and who is it and how often do they do the audits?
We do have a city auditor. It is Walker, Giroux and Hani. They audit us every year. That gets submitted to the state. This year's audit is late. They were unable to make heads nor tails out of 2024 and it had to be completely redone, which is why we have the delay. And why this was then very fast tracked because we ourselves weren't sure exactly where everything was. Okay.
And before the audit could be complete, we had to have another company come in and make heads or tails of our books so the audit could be finished, and that cost you as taxpayers. Do you have a number on
I
that?
don't know.
I know the last thing was about
13,000.
25,000.
So is that in the budget too?
No, because that's for next year.
Okay.
We're not anticipating that happening again.
I just.
How much oversight do you have throughout the year over
In
the booking?
in the administrative department,
As far as auditing?
As far as that internally? Who holds the books other than?
right, this year was not a typical year. And because they were short a whole person up until like March till now. So so there was some overtime, but they kept it as minimal as possible and did a lot of comp time. Last year was a lot more overtime from what I remember. Now I'm going by memory here. When the office was, shall we say, fully staffed, fairly regular, consistent, there was not much overtime. We don't anticipate a lot of overtime in the administrative department. Usually
Mayor, we
around,
budgeted 0 for overtime
Right,
for next year, so we're gonna do everything we can to make sure hers is salaried exempt, so she doesn't get overtime. But Kirsten and I, we didn't budget for it this year, so.
Right.
And we also didn't budget for full benefits in the administrative department, even though it is good practice to budget for the benefits that you offer to your employees. If I don't take the benefits, but if I were to drop off the face of the earth and somebody came in, we would be way over budget because they'd be paying an additional $30,000 in benefits that they did not budget for.
Just for public information, we paid well over, I believe, 100 hours of overtime to the last clerk. When we hired Nancy, we put it right in the contract. That's something that we tried to push for when we hired the previous clerk. But Joe and I did not have that support on the city council. When we hired Nancy, we hired her overtime exempt. She doesn't get overtime.
I just want
And
to
I will
ask,
say this, add one more thing. Prior to that clerk, on an average, and if my memory is right, and I could be off a little bit, the clerk before her, like actually two clerks, because we had two clerks, and each one was only here about a year, but the one that was here prior to them for 20 years, she averaged under 20 hours a year of overtime. I believe
Yeah,
isn't that
it's
pretty
very-
close, Sarah?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
so
election
there's an
maybe
extreme difference there, so.
Yeah, that usually was during election time too. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
What about the difference in the salary for?
Yes. what the previous clerks make compared to $90,000?
Well, I can answer that. With overtime and everything, the same. Actually,
No.
No.
Huh?
No
I
way.
think this,
No
the
way.
standard wage without overtime for the city clerk before Nancy was hired.
oh, what was the wage?
86.
But if you looked at the W-2, because she's not gonna get overtime and she's hired at 90,000, they were close to that, were they
I
not?
think they're-
I
With overtime, yeah, they were.
could be wrong and I'll admit it, but I think you're wrong on this one.
And I could be a little bit off, but I know I'm not much because I fought for it, and that's why I fought for it. Because we're so,
Well, that's unfortunate.
86,000.
Okay, Char?
I have a question. Deb Marinero was two back for the clerk?
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's my neighbor. We talked a lot. I said, what do you do every day? She says, I go in, she had the back office. She said, I can sleep. There's nothing to do. There's not enough work to keep me busy, okay? What justifies making 80,000 a year?
Right.
Come on, tell me what the difference is. This was fact, but she died. She can't come here and tell you, you know, what she did, what she didn't do. And then for every hour they work, they get comp time. So every 10 days, they get a day off with pay. So I don't know the exact, could be less. She said once a week, she gets 8 hours vacation time. She had so much vacation when she had kids, she didn't work for how many months, and she was paid full wages, just,
She was on sick leave for a lot of time.
okay.
I would have to look back at that, but I know all the employees within the city, they have all similar compensation packages.
Okay, but we're talking about, there's 3 people in that office. Can you tell me those wages are worth, what is it? I don't have the figures in front of me. Somebody help me out. $200 and some thousand for 3 employees? Am I off? 212 with benefits? How many people are in Babbitt? How many people pay water bills and garbage bills? How long does that take? Unless you're a first grader, it don't take no time to put those things in the computer that resident has paid their bills.
What's the projected payroll
There-
for
Do I make
administrative
any
in
sense?
2026?
You still have to answer my question, or do you know what?
Well, I mean, I'm not prepared to answer that all right now. I can, that was not a question I knew was gonna be here, so I can, if you want to come back to the office, do you wanna see their job description, their job duties? Like, that's the best I can give you right now.
And their pay levels, and how much comp time.
There was a study done long time ago, before me.
No, we're talking current.
No, I know, this is where I'm going. There was a wage study done. When was the wage study?
2010.
Was it in 2010? No, Shar, I'm explaining this to you. And person went around, talked to every single employee within City Hall that works for the city, everywhere, every employee. And they adjusted this person based on points, adjusted all the wages.
They did not talk to all the employees.
Who didn't they talk to?
They didn't talk to me. I was an employee then.
Why didn't they talk to you?
I don't know.
Well, I wasn't here. How did you not let someone talk to you?
They didn't talk to me as
Good
the operator.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, well, I wasn't here then. This is just what I'm getting.
That was a misconception, Madam Mayor.
Well, this is what I've been told.
They did
So
not
it's not a
talk about-
misconception, it's what I was told.
You were told wrong.
Then I was told wrong by the city clerk.
I heard the same thing.
I understand that, so, I can't tell you that, I really can't. And I know in the past, whenever someone left, instead of renegotiating a new starting wage, whereas that's how I, in the private sector, have always been, here's the starting wage, here's where you start. They filled in, were at the price level that the last person did. I don't understand that, that's what we were told past practice was, and that's what passed on
I
council.
would like to add something. After seeing all the stuff on Facebook and stuff, everybody does realize, and if they don't, I just want to mention this. Every number, everything that happens in this business that we call city, the city of Babbitt, or any other community, is public information. If you want to know anything, all you have to do is walk in that office and say, I would like to know this, and they will hand you a piece of paper that says data information request. You fill that out, and they are obligated by law to tell you whatever you want to know. Anything.
And that's good to know.
Mhm.
Yeah, we did-
Huh?
That's good to know.
Yeah.
It is good to know, because I think I sent out about 10 messages on Messenger to all the people. I don't get involved in social media, but I did contact a few people on Messenger and say, if you really are interested in the information, go to the city hall. You're not gonna find the information on Facebook.
Is that truly what you said?
Pardon?
Is that truly what you said on Messenger?
I have no idea what he said on Messenger, so, Terry,
Did I do that? Did I reach out to people
Oh, yes, you did.
on Messenger?
Did you say to contact the city hall and find out the answers?
Yes.
Or did you just put out false information?
You
False
have to,
information.
I don't know, if telling people that all they have to do is fill out a data sheet is false information, then I gave them false information. So, but that's what I told them.
Okay, thank you, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Norma,
Oh, Norma, I didn't recognize you.
aside from being on the library board, I have had the pleasure of working with Sarah while Kirsten was on maternity leave. And I just want to address the comment that there's not enough work to go around. I saw Sarah breaking her neck to get everything done on time. She did a marvelous job, and she was never idle. Thank you.